speaking of basketball, Draymond Green right there.
It still hurts.
Yeah, punches Nurkić in the face right there. Yesterday, as you know, I called for him to be suspended for the year. The NBA didn't do that, but give them credit. They acted pretty swiftly, and he has an indefinite suspension. And a lot of players around the league are now publicly acknowledging what I've been saying for a while. He's got something going on. He's got a problem. It may be a mental health problem. It may be a personality problem. But there's something going on that ain't right with Draymond Green. And he is right now bad for basketball. He is bad for the NBA. He is a pimple on the NBA's ass right now. And I'm glad that Adam Silver did the right thing here because enough is enough. You know, when you're winning championships and you get to play with Steph Curry, you know, a lot of those things get kind of shoveled under the rug because, well, it's just Draymond being Draymond. But look at Steph Curry. He's awesome. When you're a 500 basketball team and you're not winning championships and the act gets old and now you're putting other players in physical harm for no reason, you have to be dealt with.
Yeah, the biggest problem I have with Draymond, I don't know if he understands it or even aware of it, he's losing the respect of his own team, right? Because when you're an enforcer, there's a job to do. But at the same time, you can't hurt your team. And you talk about in that game, he only had 2 points, he was 1 for 3, and then here go the Golden State Warriors in 11th place in their seeding. And you're not a factor on the boards. You're not even a factor on the court. The biggest factor you have is right now is getting ejected out of games. You got 19 career ejections on your resume.
Yeah, and
that's
by the way,
good.
for a guy that this offseason took ownership or pretended to about how, you know, what happened with him and Poole in the preseason a year ago, he really had a major impact on him for the whole year, and he's learned his lesson, he's matured, and, you know, they should have addressed it and blah, 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 blah. It was all bullcrap lip service is what it was, because he hasn't changed a bit, and he thinks it's cute. He thinks the fans love it. You know, normally when he gets kicked out of games, it's with the crowd, and he's, WWEing it up. He's bad for basketball. Now, I'm the poster child of second chances. I'm not suggesting that Draymond Green should never be allowed to earn a living playing basketball. But I do know that we as a league have suspended guys for less. You have to deal with Draymond Green, and then he's got to decide as an adult whether he wants to deal with his demons or not.
Yeah, and this is one of those situations, kind of like Patrick Mahomes and what he's going through with his receivers. You start to expect, like, guys within that locker room, the Steph Currys, even Steve Kerr, you got to say something, you got to do something, because in my opinion, he is bad. If this were you, Draymond Green has no issue calling out a teammate or anyone across the league, but we don't ever really truly see anyone calling him out for what he's done.
Right.
And Steph Curry has to be that guy because he has an ultimate respect for him. Like, and I hate putting it on Steph because it is not on Steph. But it is exactly. It is his team, and in order for them to have any amount of success, they need him on the floor.
Yeah, by the way, that's very true. Even though his game, like anyone, fades other than LeBron's, to be fair, he's like, Golden State can't win without Draymond Green, but I do think this transcends basketball now, and he's a black mark right now on the NBA, and the NBA acknowledged that by suspending him.
But the whole reason of punishment inside basketball, inside sports, and outside sports is to deter further actions.
Correct.
Right? Like if you got 1 day in jail for robbing a bank, he'll be running around robbing banks. So he just got suspended for 5 games. And then here he is a week and a half later, unprovoked, punching somebody in the face on the basketball court. And if you're in the league, you're like, I don't even know what to do with this.
Yeah, well, look, and I'll compare it also to the most recent big suspension, and that's Ja Morant. Ja Morant got suspended multiple times, ultimately gets a 25-game suspension. And to be fair, while we all were concerned about his actions, because it involved guns, obviously, and you're talking about his safety and the safety of anyone around him, which is why the NBA came down on him, he didn't break any laws that we know of. He didn't go against any NBA policies that we know of, traveling with a weapon on an NBA flight, that kind of stuff. But the NBA came in and said, you need help. It's our job to get you help. And I'll never forget what friend of the show Tim Hardaway said, and that is, not for Draymond, but in the case of a Ja, this is where you need a veteran guy on your team to put an arm around you as a brother and say, I got you, let's talk. Draymond's a veteran. He's towards the end of his career. But somebody's now got to care about him and say, you're going down a bad road.
And
it's self-destructive.
It has to be somebody that he respects.
It's got to be Steph Curry.
It has to be Steph Curry.
Right? If not Steph, how about LeBron? Some of the other guys that he's tight with. Yeah, because Draymond was at LeBron's wedding. Vice versa. LeBron was at Draymond's wedding. So if you're LeBron, the face of this league, man, you best friends. This is when you pick up the phone like,
and he's a Clutch Sports client.
Right.
I mean, so
like,
there's
this ain't you. Like, what's going on with you? So we'll see.
Well, I applaud the NBA for doing it. And again, I'm not an anti-Draymond guy. The act got old. He's out putting people in danger physically, and he needs to be suspended. And there can't be a guarantee that he comes back unless he goes through whatever steps mental health officials deem warranted based on whatever is going on with him. But he's got something going on. There's no doubt about that. More on that as it evolves, of course, right here on The Carton Show. And don't forget, Tim Hardaway will join us again once we get through the Super Bowl on a regular basis. So we're looking forward to that a little bit later on this year or into next year. Hey there. Thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.